Okay, we are continuing our journey in the Lost Olympiad, Stockholm 1937. I honestly find it quite exciting that I can see the games played 90 years ago, nearly 90 years ago, I think 87, right? Thanks to W.H. Cousins that made an amazing research of the score sheets and try to find the notes, comments, and then, of course, thanks to this chess set that is a reproduction of what the players were playing in that time. Today we watch round 4, maybe also round 5 if I can, and because they were playing practically 2 rounds a day, one from 10 to 1500, let's say, and the other from 1700, which is at 5 p.m. I think, to 10 o'clock in the evening, so 2200. Let's watch round 4. So round 4, it's emblematic of a game between Latvia, with this player called Enzelins, against Whitcroft from England. So Latvia is white. Latvia, it's the famous country by the world champion Tal. So let's see. C4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, g3, d5, bishop g2, bishop e7. And here the comment is, in this reti position, some masters, notably Bogoljubov, used to play this bishop to d6, making white reckon continually with the possibility of black e5. However, the bishop is probably best at e7. One possibility which it introduces is a later bishop f6, contesting the long diagonal with a queen bishop, which is what is probably going to take. So let's see what happens. Castle, castle, b3, so the long diagonal, c5, the fight for the center, c takes d5, e takes d5. Now black has opened also this diagonal, but maybe not enough. d4, very interesting move, contesting the center to black right away. Let's see what it says. After this move, black has to consider whether to allow his d-pawn to be isolated. Knight c6, bishop b2, h6. Black wants to bring his bishop to e6 without having it molested by knight g5. Okay, let's see. Knight c3, bishop e6, rook c1, b6, d takes c5. By deferring this capture until now, Enzelins has put his opponent in a quandary. If he recaptures with the bishop, white can continue with knight a4, exchanging the bishop and driving back the knights. Let's see. Let's see what happens, honestly. This comment seems interesting. So let's see what happens. It takes knight f4. Okay. So the problem is that this is not protected. knight d7, knight e1, attacking here, knight e7, knight takes c5, and the white bishops will be very strong. Whitcroft decides to take with a pawn instead, but this turns out to be worse. Okay, so the choice of taking with a pawn is worse. Now let me go back and put the position as it was. Okay, we are back in the position where we had the comment what happens if black takes with a bishop. In the game, black took with a pawn instead, which for the author of the book was a bad choice. Here it says, instead of the isolated d-pawn, black now has the hanging pair on c5 and d5, hanging pair, and one of them must fall. So how does white attack these hanging pairs? Try to pause the video and find it out for yourself. If you are not interested in pausing the video, here the answer. Knight a4, knight d7, protecting this that was attacked by 2, knight e1, that we actually saw in the comment too, right? Rook c8, bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, and here there is a comment. It says, having lost an important pawn, black now feels obliged to equalize his material by a dubious knight excursion into far country. He plays knight b4, queen c4, knight takes a2, rook d1 because it was attacked, and queen c7. Now you should stop the video. You definitely need to pause this video, because here the author puts a diagram. Generally, when they put a diagram, especially in a book from 1985, right? So 1985, it's like 40 years ago at least. It means they want you to think, what would you play if you were white? Try to find next white move, and let's see what happens. White played bishop takes g7, boom! No doubt, a nasty shock to Whitcroft. If king takes g7, white regains the piece and sees the 7th rank. How does it regain the piece? Well, obviously queen takes queen g4, attacking this, and then there is rook takes d7. So this is not the move you would like to play, right? But in the game, black played rook f d8, and white continued with bishop takes h6. Black is now 2 pawns down, his king is exposed and threatened with immediate mate by queen g4, queen g7 obviously, and if it ever comes to an ending, the white h-pawn will kill him. Whitcroft did not in fact resign until move 32, so 12 moves later. The rest of the game is unintelligible in the only available score, but there is no doubt that black is well and truly beaten. And this was the game for round 4 that was played on Monday, August 2nd.